Getting Things Done: The Art of Stress-Free Productivity by David Allen. Experience the benefits of hassle-free productivity. Imagine tossing a small stone into a body of water. What does the water do? The response? The water reacts perfectly in proportion to the stone's size, mass, and the force used to throw it. The water never overreacts or underreacts. However, when we face stressful situations in our lives, we often let them dominate us by causing reactions that are not in line with what is needed or appropriate. For example, if you are already swamped with tasks and receive one more email adding one more responsibility, you might just feel overwhelmed, break, and reply harshly. But wouldn't it be wonderful to have a mindset like water, never overreacting or underreacting to the email or any other events you come across, but rather always responding just right? To achieve this, you must gain control over all your tasks. Simple principles, such as keeping a thorough system of external lists and consistently identifying clear and practical next steps for your projects, allows your brain to focus on problem solving and ensure all your endeavors, both personal and professional, progress smoothly. Your brain excels at thinking, but struggles with remembering. Nowadays, work can be chaotic. A typical morning might go like this. You are writing a document when an email arrives asking you to update your antivirus software. Well, of course I need to have the most up-to-date antivirus software. As you are about to do that, your Aunt Sheila calls. Sheila, we gotta talk to Sheila, and she reminds you to RSVP to her wedding. Of course, I'm so sorry, I forgot. After hanging up, your boss comes in, demanding you start a new document. Oh, geez, what were you doing to begin with? This is especially true for knowledge workers who have to juggle numerous tasks and projects daily while constantly facing even more distractions. To cope, most people try to store important information, appointments, and upcoming tasks in their mind. Sadly, this method wastes the brain's incredible thinking ability by filling it up with disorganized information that you could just write down. Moreover, attempting to remember everything leads to difficulty concentrating on current work, since your brain continues processing unresolved problems and incomplete tasks stored within it. These open loops, or unfinished tasks, constantly resurface in your thoughts. Oh yes, I have to remember to do that. Oh yeah, I gotta remember to do that. You can't stop this, whether you want this to happen or not. If this is your strategy for storing information, it is going to periodically pop up and distract you. It is hard to focus when thoughts like, "Oh, don't forget to pay the electricity bill," keep interrupting you. So, how can you manage the modern workplace's complex web of tasks, meetings, and information to truly concentrate on your work? By following a specific and powerful 5-step workflow, you can regain control over everything on your plate. 1. Capture your thoughts. Instead of keeping ideas, to-dos, decisions, etc. in your head, capture them on an external platform, either on paper or digitally. 2. Clarify what each item is and what you can do with it. 3. Organize the outcomes into structured lists. 4. Reflect on what is important to you and review the items in your system. 5. Engage with your tasks. Choose which action you want to perform at this moment and do it. It is that simple. This process allows you to feel more in control of your work, leading to a sense of relaxed control, improved decision-making, and increased adaptability when facing changing circumstances. Now, let's set up your workspace and tools. You need an organized workspace, proper tools, and an efficient filing system. Start by setting up a workspace with all the necessary materials, creating a comfortable and efficient environment for work. Establish identical workspaces at home and the office to maximize productivity in both locations. If you are often on the go, consider a mobile setup to stay productive while traveling. Avoid sharing workspaces with anyone else, including your significant other, to prevent wasted time constantly rearranging your area, putting things back, opening the correct tabs after someone else uses it. At a minimum, you will need a writing surface and space for a physical in-tray. Essentially, physical tools include paper holding trays for in and out trays, paper, pens, sticky notes, paper clips, tape, a stapler, a label maker, file folders, a calendar, and a waste paper basket. Additionally, use digital devices like your phone or computer for capturing and organizing tasks. These tools are crucial for creating a general reference filing system to store items such as documents, articles, notes, tickets, keys, membership cards, and more. Maintain both a physical and, when suitable, digital version of this system for organizing reference information. Invest in quality filing cabinets and have an ample supply of empty folders that you can label and store easily. Ideally, filing should take no more than a minute per item. A simple A to Z filing system, where items are filed under specific letters based on topic, person, project, or company, is efficient and user-friendly. This limits the places you will need to search for items. For example, if you find something filed about the Quality 2.0 project for XYZ Inc., you, at maximum, would only need to check under Q and X. While you can search for information in your digital system, it can still be beneficial to maintain an organized physical structure. Lastly, clean out your files at least once a year to prevent your system from becoming cluttered and overwhelmed. This regular purging not only improves system usability, but also offers peace of mind, as you can file items even if you are unsure if you will need them, knowing you will be able to declutter later. Now that your workspace is prepared, let us explore the 5-stage workflow process, beginning with the capture phase. Store all your tasks, ideas, reminders, and more in reliable external collection tools. Our attention is consistently pulled in different directions by an ongoing stream of requests, questions, tasks, invitations, and more. To handle this, the first essential step is capturing all these items in collection tools, which are placed outside your mind where you can record information and ideas. Consider these tools your inbox, where you note down everything you need to do or decide on in the future, without having to store it in your mind or overthink it. This can include a wide variety of items, such as business ideas from your lunch break, completing a work project, buying a friend's birthday gift, learning about modern art, or fixing a broken watch. When jotting down items, do not worry about their importance or relevance. The key is to capture them in a place where you can find them later, so your mind does not have to be bogged down with remembering it. The primary advantage of external tools is that they allow you to stay focused on your current task. For example, if you are writing an email and remember you need to pay the electricity bill, you can note that task down and continue focusing on the email. The same applies when someone gives you an invoice or you decide to see a play tonight. Your collection tools can vary based on your preferences. Notebooks, computer lists, or even physical boxes for storing objects and papers. You can also combine these tools as long as it does not create confusion. The primary goal is simplicity. A useful guideline is to have as few collection tools as needed, but making sure you have as many as you personally find necessary. Regardless of the number, always keep your collection tools nearby for easy access wherever you are. Also, use your collection tools thoroughly. They should be sturdy enough to hold every piece of information, ensuring that no task is left floating around in your mind. If you have not started yet, a great way to begin is to gather all your current to-dos, ideas, thoughts, plans, and materials and place them into your collection tools. This may take some time initially, but being thorough will help your brain trust the system, thus allowing it to let go of the thoughts, freeing it from the distractions of these open tasks. Clear out your external collection tools weekly. Have you set up your collection tools and filed them with all your tasks, ideas, and reminders? If so, congratulations. You have made a great start, but you also need to clear out your collection tools regularly. If you do not, they will become cluttered with unorganized items, and your brain will quickly lose faith in the system. Then it will go back to worrying about them and distracting you constantly with thoughts like, maybe I should stop what I'm doing and pay that bill, because I might miss it in the unorganized collection tool with all those other items. And then you are back to square one. That is why you need to empty your collection tools once a week by doing two things. 1. Clarify each item and organize them in the right place. First, let's discuss this clarifying stage. Remember, during the capturing stage, you do not need to think about the items you write down. But now, you do. Start by examining each item in your collection tools and ask yourself, what is it? The most crucial aspect to determine here is whether the item is actionable or not, meaning if you need to do something about it. If the item is not actionable, there are only 3 possibilities. 1. It is no longer needed, so it's trash. 2. No action is needed right now, but you may need to do something later about it. An example would be an invitation to a future event that you are currently unsure if you can attend. 3. It is information that you might need later, like the budget for a project you plan to undertake. But if the item is actionable, you will need to ask yourself what the desired end result is. If it requires several actions to achieve this outcome, then it's a project. For example, set up birthday party for Carl would be a project, not something you can do all in one action. Next, ask yourself what the next action for this item or project is. This should be the next physical, visible thing you can do to advance the matter. For example, call David or buy paint are concrete next actions, while research the present findings on customers is vague and not concrete. Once you have identified something as a next action, you have 3 options. 1. If the action takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it right now, immediately before moving on to the next item. It will actually take more time to store and organize and revisit small tasks than to just do them right away. 2. If the action takes longer than 2 minutes, consider whether you are the right person to do it. If not, delegate it to the appropriate person. 3. If you are the right person to perform the action, but it will also take longer than 2 minutes, defer it. We'll learn more about this shortly. That is the clarifying stage. The rules are simple, but regularly emptying your collection tool this way will help you achieve reliable, stress-free productivity. Organize. Clear out your collection tools and put things in the right place. Now that you have identified what each item is, it is time to move on to the organizing stage. This is where the magic happens. Traditional to-do lists often fail because they lack organization and quickly become a jumbled mix of tasks, reminders, thoughts, and information, making it difficult to find the truly actionable items. We will cover each step of the organizing stage in more detail momentarily, but first, here's a short overview. Let us first revisit the decisions made in the clarifying stage. As mentioned before, items with no future value are deleted or trashed, while actionable items that can be completed in 2 minutes or less should be done right away. But what about all those other things? Where do those items go? Well, if an item is actionable and achieving the desired outcome requires more than one step, it is a project and goes into your projects list. Projects can vary greatly in size, from write a novel to fix lights in the bedroom, where you both need to buy the light and then actually fix it. If an item is a single action that you can delegate to someone else, it should go on the waiting for list, like waiting for a contractor's input before choosing bathroom tiles. If an item is a single action that you defer, you now have two new choices. Either it goes into your calendar or onto a next action list. Your calendar is meant for time-specific or date-specific actions or information, like dentist's appointment at 9 a.m. or Belinda going on holiday tomorrow. Ask if everything is ready. Next action lists are where all your to-dos end up. Since it is not practical to have only one long list with hundreds of items, you can divide these lists by context. For example, items like email Jeff or look up prices for cruise could go onto the computer list, while calls to be made could be assigned to an on-the-phone list. If an item is not actionable, but you may need to do something about it later, it goes onto a someday maybe list, which is reserved for items that you do not want to engage with right now, but also don't want to forget about, like learn Spanish or fix the outdoor deck. You can also have similar lists with more specific topics, like movies you want to watch or books to read. If an item might become useful reference information later, it goes into storage as reference material. This could mean putting a takeout menu from one of your favorite restaurants into your filing cabinet, or saving a performance review from your boss onto your hard drive. These lists form the backbone of productivity. So before diving into stage 4 of this process, reflection, let us explore them in more detail. Use a projects list to keep track of your current projects and always focus on clear next actions. Effective project management is an essential part of every productivity system. A project is defined as a desired outcome that requires taking more than one action step. So, writing a single email is not a project, but organizing a large meeting or planning a vacation is. We will discuss how to define your projects shortly, but for now, you just need to know that projects are stored on a projects list, which should be reviewed and updated regularly. This list is where you should note all projects that need to be completed soon. When you review this list each week, make sure that every project has a clear, concrete next action, as these are what move the project towards completion. Consistently defining a physical, visible next action can be a highly effective habit that helps your projects progress rapidly. The reason is that if you see a vague next action like have my car serviced on your list, part of your brain feels that clarity is missing and it just gives up. What are you specifically supposed to have serviced? Where are you supposed to go? Is this urgent or is this just general maintenance? But if you ask, what is the next action? Within seconds, you figure out that it is research auto repair companies online, which is much easier for your brain to remember once you read it and then tackle it. Once you have identified an action to take, it should be stored in your calendar or next actions lists, which we will explore later. Defining next actions is such a powerful habit that you can even use it outside of project management. For example, you should make it a standard practice at meetings. After each discussion point, ask this question to clarify what the next step is, who will take it, and when. No interaction should end without a clear answer to this question. Try this approach for a while, and you might be surprised at the productivity boost you will experience. Natural planning helps define the goals and concrete next steps of your project. While discussing projects, let us briefly touch on the crucial skill of project planning. Planning something simple, like a dinner out, is easy enough and rarely fails. However, planning complex projects like negotiating with clients, hosting large weddings, or organizing important business retreats can be more challenging. So, how can you make planning a significant work project as effortless as planning dinner? Let us introduce the natural planning method, which aims to reflect the way you plan things in your daily life. It consists of 5 steps. 1. Purpose and principles. 2. Outcome visioning. 3. Brainstorming. 4. Organizing. 5. Identifying next actions. Let us examine each step. 1. Start by determining the purpose of your project. For example, why do you need to create a business plan? If the goal is to secure funding, then you know to craft it with investors in mind. Next, establish the principles you value. For instance, you might want to ensure that your team does not feel overworked, or that the outcome is ethically and financially sound. Recognizing these boundaries early on makes it easier to work within them. 2. Visualize the desired outcome by asking yourself what the project will look like when completed. A well-defined goal could be to increase your company's sales by 5% within a specific period of time. Defining this goal in this manner helps you concentrate on it, and this focus will assist you in achieving it. 3. Generate ideas on how to reach the goal. Once you understand your objective, ideas will naturally start to form. Do not judge these ideas yet. Let them flow freely while capturing all of them. In true brainstorming fashion, prioritize quantity over quality to maximize the chances of developing good ideas. 4. Organize your ideas by identifying the most crucial ones and categorizing them. Possible ways to sort include grouping related ideas, arranging them in the order you need them to occur, or prioritizing them. For example, you could group all ideas related to market research, or ideas that still need further clarification before they can be considered or acted upon. 5. Determine the next physical, visible action that will advance the project. If your project has multiple components, ask yourself if you or someone else could take action now, and create next actions accordingly. For instance, if your project is to increase revenues by 5%, a next action could be email Dave for the current revenue projections and breakdown. This step helps move your project from planning to execution. People are often amazed by the power of this simple 5-step process when they first use it. Want to give it a try? Think about a project you would like to start. Grab a pen and paper or your computer and begin considering why you want to undertake this project. You will know your project plan is ready when you feel confident about it and it no longer occupies your thoughts, constantly doubting and changing things. If you still have doubts about the outcome or next actions, you'll likely find yourself still pondering here, indicating that you are not done with the project plan yet. Instead of daily to-do lists, use a calendar and next action list. Many people depend on daily to-do lists to manage their productivity. But this method has its drawbacks. These lists often fail because it is simply not possible to predict what you can truly accomplish in one day, every day. Sometimes things come up and we are not able to finish our to-do list. As a result, they lead to unrealistic planning, frustration, and wasted time on tasks that were destined to fail from the start. A much more effective approach is to use a calendar and one or multiple next action lists. First, let us discuss the calendar. Its sole purpose is to keep track of appointments. Treat it as sacred space that provides a fixed structure for planning your other activities. The calendar should only contain the following types of items: time-specific actions, like a doctor's appointment at a specific time on a specific date. Day-specific actions, such as calling a colleague at some point during her last day before she goes on vacation. Day-specific information, like the files you need to bring to a doctor's appointment. Avoid adding other to-dos to the calendar, as this will only lessen the importance of the truly time or day-specific and sensitive items. Place all other tasks or concrete actions on your next action list, which is crucial for managing the tasks you will soon undertake. Include all items that require more than 2 minutes to complete. If you have many tasks on the list, consider categorizing them into multiple lists based on the context. For example, on the phone to-dos, or at the supermarket to-dos, or on the computer to-dos. Sorting tasks by context allows you to know what you can do whether you are at your desk, in a meeting, or waiting at the airport. When reaching the engage step in this productivity process, this list will enable you to quickly decide which task to tackle whenever you have time to address anything. Waiting for lists are useful when collaborating with others. As mentioned earlier, all ongoing projects should be listed on the projects list. With the next action list, you can continuously work on tasks, moving your projects closer to completion step by step. However, you often need to rely on others as well. For instance, you might be waiting for a colleague's input on a presentation or a hotel's response about room availability. But this does not mean you have to give up control over the progress of related projects. When you depend on others' work, such as waiting for a colleague to send data for your presentation, it is helpful to maintain a waiting for list. Here, note everything that others need to deliver to you along with the deadlines. By reviewing and updating this list weekly, you will notice if someone has not fulfilled their commitment to complete a task within a specific time frame. In this case, you now have a new task, reminding that person. This reminder could be an email, a brief phone call, or a friendly visit to your colleague's office to remind them about the data they were supposed to send. If the reminder takes less than 2 minutes, do it right away. If not, you add it to your next actions list. Create a someday maybe list and a file for ideas with potential future relevance. The someday maybe list is another crucial component. This list contains things that do not fit into the next actions or projects lists, but should not be cluttering your mind either. It includes items you have not yet turned into concrete ideas or tasks. Common examples for the someday maybe list include things to buy or build for your home, trips you want to take, or skills you want to learn, or things like climb Mount Everest, learn to play the guitar, or become proficient in Japanese. Although the name may suggest a list of less important items, do not undervalue the someday maybe list. It helps you keep track of project ideas that could be crucial in the future, and you might be surprised to find that you end up doing many of them. To act on these ideas when the time is right, you need to capture them when they occur. You can also divide the list into subcategories like movies to watch, wines to taste, and activities to do with your kids. For this list to be effective, review it and update it regularly, just like other lists. Another method for reminding yourself of future items is by using a tickler file, which tickles your memory by allowing you to mail information to yourself when needed. The tickler file is a detailed and organized physical filing system consisting of 43 folders. 31 for the next 31 days, and 12 for the next 12 months. The daily folders are placed in front of the monthly folders. For example, if today is May 2nd, the files for the 3rd through the 31st would be at the front, followed by the month folders starting with June. In each folder, place items relevant to that day or month, like travel documents for a planned trip. Every day, move the documents, reminders, or items you sent yourself for that specific day into your in tray. Then shift the day folder to come after the next month's folder. When you reach the first month folder, transfer all the notes you sent yourself for that month into the 31 daily folders based on the appropriate day. The key to this system is using and updating it diligently every day. Like the next action list, these lists help you find the right information at the right time. After all, lists are usually more reliable than your memory. Reflect. Regularly reviewing your system is crucial for productive work. Now that we have thoroughly discussed organizing tasks, projects, reminders, and ideas, it is time to move on to the fourth step: reflect. The objective is to feel relaxed and in control of all your ongoing projects. keeping track of them and ensuring progress. To achieve this, your productivity system must always be up to date and comprehensive. You can only fully concentrate on the task at hand and feel at ease if you trust your system. This means consistently and frequently reviewing it. Every day, check your calendar to understand what's ahead. For example, if you have meetings all day, it will significantly affect what you can accomplish, and you need this information to plan your day. Next, examine your next action lists to determine which tasks can be done within the day's context. If you are in the office all day, see what phone or computer-related tasks you can tackle. Besides the daily review, you will likely spend a few seconds occasionally reviewing lists when the right context arises, like when you find yourself unexpectedly waiting somewhere. However, the most important aspect is the thorough weekly review. To begin, tie up any loose ends from the previous week, clearing out your collection tools and capturing any lingering thoughts or ideas. Also, go through your next action list, marking off completed items. Then, review your calendar. You might need to prepare for upcoming appointments, and the previous week's appointments could spark ideas you want to capture. Now, examine all other lists. Are there any items on the waiting for list that need follow-up? What about your projects list? Review the status, plans, and materials for each project, ensuring they all have at least one next action in your system. Lastly, look at your someday maybe list. Have any items become interesting or relevant enough to pursue now? If so, turn them into projects, but also remove items that no longer align with your interests. Set aside a few hours for the weekly review, but the exact time needed depends on how much is required to trust your system. Since it is essential for the system's overall success, establish a consistent habit of conducting the review each week. You could schedule your weekly review on a Friday afternoon, allowing you to start the weekend with a clear head and a sense of control. Engage. Decide what to do in each moment based on your current situation and priorities. The final step of the process is where you actually accomplish tasks. So, how do you decide what to do at any given moment? While trusting your instincts is important, there are 4 criteria to consider more analytically. 1. What can you do in the current context? For example, if you do not have a phone, you can't make calls. This is where categorizing your next action lists comes in handy, as it helps you quickly identify feasible tasks in the moment. 2. What do you have time for? If you have 10 minutes before your next meeting, it doesn't make sense to start a multi-hour budget review. 3. What do you have energy for? If you spent all afternoon on a challenging budget review, you might feel drained now. However, this doesn't mean you can't be productive, but you do need to choose something less mentally demanding, like booking a flight for a vacation or business trip. 4. Which task has the highest priority? To answer this, you need to understand your values and goals, which we will explore further in the next section. To stay productive wherever you go, keep your lists with you at all times. This enables you to take advantage of unexpected waiting periods, whether you are at your desk, commuting, or stuck at the airport due to a delayed flight. Understanding your priorities through a bottom-up examination. To grasp what is important in your work and life, consider different levels or horizons, with each one further away than the last. The first horizon is the ground, current actions. This is the lowest level, including tasks to be done, reminders, emails to answer, and more. Horizon 1. Current projects. These are the projects on your projects list, which generate most of the items on the ground level horizon. Horizon 2. Areas of focus and accountabilities. Your projects are based on the roles and responsibilities you have. These are areas where you want to achieve results. Examples include leadership, strategic planning, or market research at work, and health, finances, or family at home. You will never complete these, but they guide your actions. If you identify a task not represented on your projects list, consider adding a project around it. Horizon 3. 1 or 2 year goals. Envision where you want to be in 1 to 2 years. These goals impact your areas of focus and accountabilities. Aiming for a key promotion at work is an example of a goal that might be in the 1 to 2 year time horizon. Horizon 4. Long-term visions. This covers a 3 to 5 year time frame, considering not only personal aspirations like career or family goals, but also external factors that may affect your life, such as technological developments. Horizon 5. Life purpose. This is the ultimate big picture perspective, where you ask yourself why you exist and what your purpose is in life. All previous horizons are influenced by your answer here, and your tasks should ultimately lead you towards this Horizon 5 level, your life purpose. While it might seem logical to start with your life purpose and work downwards, a bottom-up approach often works better. This way, you can clear away day-to-day tasks and save creative energy for more significant decisions. If any thoughts about your own situation came up while reading this, write them down. They might belong on your someday maybe list, or inspire you to create a project, such as drafting a plan of your dream life with your partner or consulting a personal coach about your life goals. Remember to review these horizons at appropriate intervals, ranging from daily for the ground level to annually for horizons 4 and 5. The Getting Things Done system helps you manage a large number of tasks in a relaxed way. It provides complete control over your work. The 5 essential steps in this project are: 1. Capture your thoughts using external collection tools that you regularly empty. This allows your mind to focus on what it does best: thinking and problem solving. 2. Clarify what each item is and determine what you can do with it. 3. Organize the results into a structure of lists, such as your calendar, projects, next actions, someday maybe, and waiting for lists. 4. Reflect on your priorities and review the items in your system. This is vital because it ensures you maintain trust in the system. 5. Engage with your tasks. Choose which action to take based upon the context, available time, available energy levels you have, and your priorities. Remember, this system is ultimately designed to help us engage more. Engagement is the ultimate goal. This concludes Getting Things Done.